Hey everyone. Welcome back. Grab your popcorn, because this story, my story, is one of those where you'll laugh, cry, and probably want to throw something at the wall by the end. This isn't a story about a broken wedding. It's a story about how a lifetime of manipulation, control, and trauma finally reached its boiling point, and how I helped my brother escape a trap that was disguised as love. I'm the youngest of 3 siblings. My oldest brother is Joe, the middle one is Sam, and then there's me, the sister who learned too young how to navigate chaos and walk on glass without making a sound. Our parents divorced when I was little. At the time, I didn't understand why, but I remember the fights. The whispers. The way my father's face would tighten when my mother entered the room. Years later, I understood. Our mother was jealous, not just jealous of other women, but jealous of attention itself. At first, it was subtle. If my dad complimented my hair, she'd snap.
"Why don't you talk about mine like that?"
If he hugged me too long, she'd accuse him of playing favorites. But one day, it crossed into something darker. I overheard her screaming at him.
"You spend more time with her than with me. She wants to be your little wife."
I was 8. That was the first time I felt shame for something I didn't understand. My dad tried to handle her moods for years. He loved her, maybe too much. He excused her outbursts, told us she was just emotional. But when she started making comments about me wanting to take her place, he snapped. He packed a bag, called Joe and Sam, and left that night. The divorce was ugly. Mom didn't cry, she performed grief. When Dad remarried, to a wonderful woman named Carol, Mom lost her mind. She called Carol a homewrecker, told anyone who'd listen that Dad had cheated, and even showed up at Carol's work pretending to be the victim. She remarried too, quickly, to a man named Robert who had 2 kids. But her new life didn't make her any less bitter. The worst part? When my stepmom Carol died. She was in a car accident, sudden, brutal. I'll never forget the sound of Dad's voice when he called Mom that night. He was crying, asking her to let us come early so we could attend the funeral. And do you know what she said?
"No. I already planned a trip. We're going to celebrate something."
She took us to an amusement park instead. When I started crying in the hotel room, she snapped.
"Only worthless people cry for the dead."
That was the first time I realized I hated her. Not just because she was cruel, but because she seemed proud of it. After that, Dad fought for full custody. He won. She still got visitation rights, but every visit was torture. She'd criticize everything, how we dressed, how we spoke, even how we breathed. And her husband Robert wasn't any better. He'd call us ungrateful brats and failures in the making. By the time I turned 18, all 3 of us decided, no more. No more phone calls, no more visits, no more guilt trips. We cut her off completely. At my high school graduation, the last time I ever saw her, she caused a scene. She told anyone within earshot that we were rotten kids who'd abandoned their mother. Robert joined in, calling us names. After that, we went no contact for good. Our father tried to keep the door open, bless him. He paid for us to visit her, called her on holidays, but we couldn't do it. Every interaction felt like stepping into a snake pit. Over time, the silence became peace. And peace became freedom. Years later, Sam met Daniela. She was kind, bright, a little naive, the kind of woman who believes everyone can be fixed with enough love. He told her about Mom early on. Told her why we were no contact, why our boundaries weren't negotiable. Daniela listened, but I could see the doubt flicker in her eyes. She came from a close-knit family, the kind that celebrates everything together. She couldn't fathom the kind of mother who could destroy her own children. For the first year, she kept pushing.
"Maybe she's changed. You'll regret not having her at your wedding. She's still your mother."
It caused fights, but Sam loved her. He thought she'd eventually understand. And for a while, she seemed to. They got engaged, and the wedding planning began. Everything felt perfect, elegant, calm, simple. No drama, no surprises. Until the day of the ceremony. The morning started with sunlight spilling through the windows, the scent of roses, and the sound of nervous laughter. Daniela looked beautiful, glowing in a way that made everyone pause when she entered the room. Then came the first sign something was wrong. A message popped up on Sam's phone.
I'm proud of you, my little boy. Can't wait to see you walk down the aisle.
No name. But the phrasing, that little boy, made my blood run cold. Sam's face drained of color.
She can't be here.
He whispered.
There's no way.
I tried to stay calm. Maybe it was a prank. Maybe she'd found out from someone online. But when we arrived at the church, my stomach dropped. There she was. Front row. Dressed in pale ivory, almost the bride's color, smiling like she owned the place. Robert sat beside her, smug as ever. Her two stepkids were there too, whispering and smirking. It was a nightmare come to life. I felt my chest tighten. Joe muttered,
"What the hell?"
under his breath. Sam stood frozen, his knuckles white around the bouquet he was holding for Daniela. He called her, desperate, hoping it was some mix-up. But Daniela's voice was calm.
I invited them.
She said.
I thought it would be a good surprise. A family reunion.
I swear, in that moment, I saw something break inside my brother. He hung up without another word. Then he looked at me and said,
Get me out of here.
Before I could respond, I saw Mom waving.
There's my son. My handsome boy.
The crowd murmured. Guests turned, confused. Daniela's parents looked mortified. The officiant didn't know what to do. Mom stood and started speaking loudly, as if it were her show.
I just want everyone to know how proud I am of my son. He's come so far, despite being poisoned against his real family.
The air crackled. My father, red-faced, started to stand, but Joe stopped him.
Not here. Not yet.
Then, without a word, Sam walked down the aisle, not toward the altar, but straight toward me. He took my hand and whispered.
Let's go.
We slipped out the side door, leaving behind the gasps, the whispers, the chaos. By the time anyone noticed, we were gone. We didn't stop driving until the church was miles behind us. No music. No talking. Just the sound of Sam's breathing, quick, shallow, and the soft hum of the highway. When we finally pulled into the old family house, the silence broke. Sam got out of the car, stumbled onto the front lawn, and sat down in the grass like a man who'd just survived a war.
I couldn't stand there and let her take another thing from me.
He said, his voice trembling.
Not again.
Dad met us at the door. He didn't yell. He just looked at Sam and said quietly,
"You did the right thing, son."
We locked the doors, turned off our phones, and waited for the storm to hit. It came fast. Daniela called first. Then her mother. Then her father. When no one answered, they started showing up at the house, pleading, shouting through the gate, begging Sam to come talk like adults. Behind them, standing smugly beside Robert, was Mom. Her husband crossed his arms and yelled.
"We always knew you kids were worthless."
Dad stepped outside long enough to say one thing.
Get off my property.
Then he closed the gate. Inside, Sam was shaking. He kept whispering.
She invited them.
She really did it. And that was the moment he stopped doubting what we'd been telling him for years. Mom's poison always found a way in. The days that followed were chaos. Daniela's parents demanded repayment for the wedding expenses, the dress, the cake, the venue. They even threatened to sue. Sam didn't argue. He just said,
I'll pay you back every cent. But I won't marry your daughter.
most of our extended family, Dad's side, stood behind him. But some outsiders whispered that he'd overreacted, that maybe he should have forgiven Daniela for the misunderstanding. Those people didn't understand what it's like to grow up under a narcissist's thumb. Forgiveness without change is just another form of submission. I tried to keep things calm online, but the hate messages poured in. People who didn't even know us called us heartless, dramatic, cruel. I finally deleted my social media altogether. Yet, the more people heard the full story, the more they shifted. They started to understand. A week later, Daniela reached out again. She wanted to talk, said she needed closure. Sam hesitated. But she sent him photos of all his belongings dumped on the floor of their shared flat and texted, "If you don't come, I'll destroy it all." That sealed it. Sam agreed to meet, but at our house, with all of us there. When she arrived, she wasn't alone. Her parents came with her, as well as her two sisters. She looked smaller somehow, tired, pale, but still defiant. The moment she saw us, she said tearfully,
I only wanted to help you fix your family. I didn't mean for things to go wrong.
Sam didn't reply. Then she turned to Dad and said,
You raised them to hate mothers. That's why this happened.
Something in Sam snapped. He stood up, voice steady but sharp as a blade.
Don't you dare blame my father for this. My mother is a liar. You knew she was toxic, and you invited her anyway. You betrayed me in the one place I should have felt safe.
Daniela started crying harder, reaching for him, but he stepped back.
You said you loved me. If you loved me, you wouldn't have brought the one person who destroyed my childhood into my wedding.
Her father tried to intervene.
All families fight. You're not getting any younger. You could still make amends and marry her.
Sam just looked at him, cold, exhausted.
If you sue me, go ahead, but I'll make sure everyone knows what your family did. Every single detail.
And that ended the meeting. She left sobbing, her parents red-faced with embarrassment. None of them ever saw the calm fury in Sam's eyes again, that look of a man who finally refused to be broken. 2 nights later, the doorbell rang. It was after midnight. Outside the gate stood Mom and Robert. She was crying, or pretending to.
I just want to talk to my babies, she shouted. You've embarrassed me. You've humiliated your own mother.
Dad stepped outside and said firmly,
Leave.
She screamed louder.
You raised them wrong. You turned them against me.
Her husband puffed out his chest and barked.
Apologize to your mother or I'll.
Joe appeared behind Dad and said calmly.
You'll what?
Then, looking straight at Mom, he added,
The only time I ever want to hear about you again is at your funeral, so I can celebrate.
Her face twisted into pure hatred. She shrieked, kicked the gate, and wailed as Dad dialed the police. When they finally left, the night felt quieter than it had in years. Dad wasn't proud of Joe's words, but he understood. Sometimes truth sounds cruel when it's finally spoken out loud. For a while, it seemed like peace was returning. We started family movie nights, horror marathons, pizza, laughter echoing through the house again. Then the next storm hit. Daniela posted on social media that she was pregnant. Hundreds of comments flooded in, half congratulating her, half attacking Sam for abandoning her. Sam called immediately.
If it's true, we'll figure it out. But you need to stop posting lies.
She sobbed, saying he didn't trust her, that he was cold. He told her calmly,
We'll go to the doctor together tomorrow. If you're pregnant, I'll be there for the child. But not for you.
The next day, she met him, smiling, radiant, holding her stomach. until she saw me walking in with him. Her smile cracked. Sam asked softly.
Are you really pregnant?
She hesitated, eyes darting, then whispered.
Yes. I don't want my baby to grow up in a broken family.
Sam said.
Then let's confirm it right now. We'll go to the doctor.
She froze, then started crying hysterically.
You don't trust me. You're trying to control me.
Of course, she wasn't pregnant. It was another manipulation, another echo of our mother's tactics. When the truth came out, she exploded online again, posting that Sam was forcing her to have an abortion. That was the final straw. Our sister-in-law Anna saw the posts and lost it. She gathered every screenshot, every message, every photo proving Daniela had lied, and emailed them to every single person on the wedding guest list. Daniela deleted everything within hours. But the damage was done. She left Sam a string of voicemails after that, crying, apologizing, then threatening to end her life if he didn't come back. It was horrifying, manipulative, and deeply sad. Sam didn't take the bait. He called the police and reported the voicemails. Her family intervened and placed her in therapy. It was the right outcome, tragic, but necessary. And Sam finally got to sleep again without nightmares. When Mom heard about Daniela's breakdown, she found a way to twist it back on us. She sent an email, full of venom, accusing Anna of defamation for the mass email. She even threatened to sue. We didn't respond. Anna's parents, bless them, said,
Let her try. The truth is a defense.
Dad quietly considered a restraining order but admitted they rarely worked well in our country. Instead, he focused on something he could control, healing. He organized a small gathering at home, karaoke, food, dancing. Even a bouncy house for the kids. We laughed until our sides hurt. Every time someone brought up the wedding, they did it gently. And every time, we ended it the same way. Sam did the right thing. Dad donated most of the leftover alcohol from the wedding to his employees. He even added some bottles to his Christmas gift baskets that year, joking that no wine should go to waste, not even cursed wedding wine. Sam decided to rent out the house Dad had gifted him and use the money to travel. He said he wasn't ready to live in a place built on betrayal. And we respected that. Time has a way of softening the sharp edges. But the memories never disappear completely. Sam rebuilt his life. He started therapy, joined a hiking club, and slowly learned to smile again. He's not dating, not seriously, but he's at peace. That's what matters. Dad met someone new. She's calm, grounded, nothing like Mom. We love her already. As for Joe, he and Anna moved overseas. They sent us photos of their garden, their dog, and their quiet mornings, a far cry from the chaos we all grew up in. Me? I stayed here. I write. I tell stories like this one. Because silence used to be our prison, but now, it's our weapon. A year later, my phone rang with a number I didn't recognize. I let it go to voicemail. When I listened, I froze. It was her. Her voice sounded thinner, fragile, almost human. I just wanted to hear your voice, she said. I'm not well. I want to make things right. I deleted the message. Not out of hatred, out of mercy. Because the one thing a narcissist can't survive is indifference. And I was finally free of needing her to change. People sometimes ask why we didn't take her to court, or expose her publicly. But vengeance doesn't always mean fire. Sometimes, the greatest revenge is silence, living well, loving fully, and never letting the abuser rent space in your mind again. Mom used to say she wanted her children to need her. Now she's the one who needs us, and we've stopped answering. That's justice in its quietest form. On rainy afternoons, when thunder rolls across the city, I think back to that wedding. The chaos. The humiliation. The way my brother looked when he realized he'd been set up. And then I remember how it ended. With us, free. We learned that love without respect isn't love at all. That family isn't defined by blood, but by safety. And that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away and never look back. Mom taught us a lot, mostly what not to become. Daniela taught us that good intentions can still cause harm. And we taught ourselves that survival is the sweetest form of revenge. You don't have to destroy your monsters. You just have to stop feeding them. Here at Tinty Tales, every story is brewed slow and served warm, made for those who listen not just with their ears, but with their hearts. If this story touched something inside you, a memory, a truth, a quiet strength, let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and share your thoughts, because every word you leave here keeps this little corner of the internet glowing, one tale at a time. This is Tinty Tales. Pour a cup, and I'll pour a story.